Hello, folks. Oh, there's a start. It's me, it's the Xylius girl you know, Cypher KQ from Hoggington. And, it's a pleasure to be here. Pleasure to, be back to be running some more Gabriel Knight. Sins of the Fathers. The MOG stands for MOG. The MOG does stand for MOG. The MOG also sits to MOG. And sometimes there are other MOG things that occur. Now, I have never been a synthesizer, although I've often considered it. So tonight, as noted, more Gabriel Knight. We got a little ways into the game last time. It mostly went well. Poor Gabriel is, of course, a giant idiot who cannot stop shooting himself in the foot. But, we're here to guide him through. Hopefully. Maybe. And this is making me nostalgic for Ease, and I'm playing Zwei, which is basically like Ease but a dungeon crawler. So I don't know what more I could want. Drama CD. Nope. Let's skip the drama CD. Yeah, that's fine. Brandish 2, the Planet Buster. There is a sword in that game called the Planet Buster, and I want to use a sword called the Planet Buster. Like, that's... Oh no, I've busted a planet, excuse me. Too much sneezing. Normally... Nope, the train of thought I was on exploded. It killed everybody. Cloud Strife. The world's least understood character. Even now, with the Final Fantasy VII remakes, Square Enix is misunderstanding their own character. God, those things are fucking terrible. Hi, YouTube. How you doing? Oh, well, I'm not here to talk about those. I'm here to talk about Mass Effect, which I have almost completely succeeded in modding, but... now that I've finished modding, I'm getting desktop crashes, so I may have to start again from zero. See if I can get that fixed. If I can't get it fixed, oh well. I will just have to not play that game. Or have to play it unmodded, I don't know. I'll figure something out. Either way, there is now about 1 minute and 5 seconds. That's 1 minute 5 to go out and do whatever you might need to do that doesn't involve me. And then come back and involve me. So, if you can find it in your heart to go do that, then you should go do that. And if you can't find it in your heart to go do that, then you shouldn't go do that. And, if you can't find your heart, consult a physician. I can't believe you people pay me to sit here and talk about crap like this. I mean, really, what's your deal? You're all bankrolling this, you know. This is basically PBS. It's nonsense. That's what you're funding, nonsense. Anyway, please enjoy your nonsense. not to cut this off just as it's getting interesting, but I'm going to cut it off just as it's getting interesting. 1 tier, 1 sub. Thank you. I don't know. 1 tier, 1 sub to Stardust Survivor, who I don't think I've ever seen actually show up in chat, but hello if you are. If you're actually here, congratulations, you've got a sub. Thank you, Serious Song. What is your I don't know what your deal is. You have a deal, and let's make a deal. And start the game. Let's start the yeah, okay. Hi. Anyway, I have no idea what the deal is. ID. Words. The church bell on this screen has to cut through your head like a knife. Love this little tune. Alright. So, let's see. Last time, we had cleared out most of Gabriel's to-do list, except for actually researching his goddamn book. Let's show some stuff to Grace, see what she has to say.
Do you know anything about this?
What, the magnifying glass? It makes things look big. Out to impress a girl, are you?
I hope you're insulting the size of my brain.
That goes without saying.
Let's stop showing things to Grace. What? Yeah. If you show things to Grace, usually you get a little insult.
Do you know anything about this?
They're called tweezers? You know, you should get out more.
They're very well written in this game. They have a nice banter. Play.
Do you know anything about this?
No, sorry.
Yeah, she doesn't really know much about anything from outside the shop. Although, I think she recognizes Mosley.
Do you know anything about this?
It's your friend Mosley. Why?
Oh, no reason.
So yeah, before we get around to showing Gabriel's, attorney badge to people, let's get out there and do some research on voodoo.
I'm going out.
See ya.
Let's see. Let's start at... let's head out to Napoleon House and just ask around. I mean, I think Grace is fairly sick of Gabriel's shit, but, A, he pays her occasionally. And B, they at least have a decent rapport. She's seen him in action for a while, and she knows how he operates. He's mostly harmless. So, this is, Napoleon House.
It's a bust of Napoleon. How apropos.
I'll never get used to the narrator.
Several fine old oils line the walls of the bar.
This is a drinking establishment Gabriel likes to frequent.
Fancy old liquor bottles contribute to the general decor. An unhappy-looking man explores the dangers of drinking alone.
Let's talk
What's
to
up?
people.
Buddy, I think the place you're looking for is down on Bourbon.
Yeah, I think Gabriel's been down on bourbon all his life.
Hi, how's it going?
It's been worse.
Gabriel has the voice of a sassy Cajun woman in his head. Who doesn't? But yeah, the narrator is an extremely Cajun lady by the name of, let me just pull up the Internet Movie Database again. I know she's been in so much stuff. And I just want to... Yeah, her name is Virginia Capers. She actually hasn't... Oh yeah, she has. She has in fact been in quite a bit. She's been in quite a bit. For some reason, the known for section on the Internet Movie Database begins with Howard the Duck. So... I don't know where to start with that. World-renowned movie, Howard the Duck. Let's see.
Could I ask you a few questions?
Sure. I'm not too busy at the moment.
Alright, let's chat with the bartender. Always a good source of information.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Voodoo? I don't believe in it myself. I invented a drink once called Laveau's Tomb, but it wasn't very popular. Some people do believe, though. Even some of our regulars here at Napoleon House.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
It's all over the papers. Some kind of serial killings.
Good to know. Thank you. Wow. That is an incredibly helpful answer. I don't know what I expected, really. We're lucky he's not charging us for the conversation.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
Greatest city in the world. I'd never want to live anywhere else.
Everybody thinks that their favorite city is the greatest in the world, and I guess for them it is.
Do you know anything about snakes?
What about them?
Oh, just anything.
Man, you ask the weirdest questions. I don't know anything about snakes.
Well, that's a shame. Also, you ask the weirdest, but just tell me about snakes, in general. I like snakes. I go out to bars and find snakes. You hear about people getting killed, you call them murders. That is wise.
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
Never heard of it.
Well, I figure you can mix one. Yeah, can you serve me a Schottenjäger?
Tell me about yourself.
A good bartender listens to other people's life stories without telling his own.
In other words, we didn't want to write one.
What can you tell me about your regulars in here?
This crowd, the ones you see, are mostly regulars. That guy and girl in the corner come here a lot. When they're not fighting, they're all over each other. In other words, they're in love.
Valid.
What can you tell me about your regulars in here?
See those old guys at the chess table? That's Sam and Marcus. They played every day for 20 years. Sam, the one with the purple jacket, he's lost every one of those games. It's not that he's a bad player. I've seen him.
In other
beat
words,
guys
they're in love,
twice
yeah.
as good as Marcus. But Marcus has Sam so psyched out, he loses his nerve every time. By the way, Sam, the chess player, he's into that voodoo stuff. He's always talking about spells and gree-gree and stuff.
Really? Thanks.
Oh, really?
So what has Sam told you about voodoo?
Well, about 50 years ago, Sam was too shy to talk to this pretty girl he was in love with. He went to a voodooine and had her make him a love charm. It was a little pouch that he had to bury
Penguin.
under the girl's front porch. Well, he buried the pouch, and the next day he went up and talked to the girl, and sure enough, she didn't reject him. Now she's his wife. Poor guy.
Tell me about the street musicians around here.
I like music as much as the next guy, but they get pretty monotonous sometimes, you know? Like that drummer right outside. They say there's been a drummer outside Napoleon House since the day it opened. I like drums, but this character really gets on my nerves. It sounds like the same thing over and over. I just want to say, enough already.
Sounds like my life.
Gabe. And hello, Penguin. For the record, I've got Mass Effect 1 nicely modded up. And now it crashes every now and then, so I need to, run triage on that. Oops. So let's have a chat with Sam and Marcus.
Go!
Drummer out there has been playing the BGM for many, many years. I have the volume up fairly high, and I can't actually hear the drummer playing anything.
A street drummer has found a spot outside the Napoleon House.
I mean, in world, sure. I'm just...
Gabriel cannot do anything with the drummer on the street.
Can't do anything with him on the street. Or up against the wall, or, you know. Alright, let's interrogate Sam.
Excuse me. I hate to interrupt your game, but could I ask you a few questions?
What game? This isn't a game. It's a slaughter.
He's right, you know, so let me die in peace, would you?
Ah, yes, the extremely Jewish. Well, can't wait to expose my stream to shenanigans.
Bastard.
You're
It'll-
a sore loser, Sam.
Believe me, it'll take a while before we get around to Mass Effect 2.
So, having a good game?
Shh. I'm concentrating.
Fine. All right.
Well, I guess we're not going to get anywhere talking to them.
Sorry to bother you, but could I ask you a few questions?
I'm not the chatty type, am I, Sam?
No, you old bastard, you're not.
Besides, I'm busy sucking poor old Sam dry. Go bug someone else.
Ah, you're a real sweetheart, Marcus, you bastard.
Yeah, these two have known each other approximately 500 years. How's the chess game
That
looking?
tabletop has an inlaid chessboard.
Alright, well, we've at least learned about Sam and Marcus, so let's head out. Cool as that is, they're not voodoo. So... Why is Napoleon... That is Napoleon House. A drinking establishment named for Napoleon. Maybe Napoleon wants some and he can't have any.
Welcome, my friend.
Hello?
I am the proprietor, Dr. John. If you have any questions, I will be happy to assist.
Great. My name is Knight, and I'll probably take you up on that.
Dr. John here. Another famous voice actor. This is Worf. He played Michael Dorn in Deep Space 5. It's a very popular Star Wars show.
He's got more hair than Mosley.
But Tish.
Reminds me of a book critic for the New York Times.
Gabriel's having a great time in here.
On the table is a small coffin. So small, in fact, that it would only fit an infant.
Charming.
He was also a gargoyle. Yeah, him personally. A lot of people don't know that about Michael Dorn. He is a gargoyle. At night, he,
The back
turns
wall
into
displays
stone.
various voodoo items, such as a bandana that was once worn by a voodoo queen.
Nice bloodstains.
Something about the shape of that knife gives Gabriel the creeps.
Yeah, if we're being serious, a lot of people in Star Trek were gargoyles. Like I said in the previous stream, I almost titled this, like, a Gargoyles family reunion. And then I discovered that Mark Hamill has never been in Gargoyles. Which surprised the hell out of me.
An official voodoo wish and stump. Rub it and make a wish, a card said.
Funny, I say the same thing to women.
You would, Knight. Alright, let's see what we can wish for.
I wish Malia Getty was permanently grafted to my thighs.
Gabriel, haven't you ever fucking seen Wishmaster? That's a terrible wish, you idiot.
I wish I had $1 million.
Congratulations, you now have a herd of deer somewhere in the South Pacific. You'll never see them.
I wish my voodoo book hits the bestseller lists.
Write it first. What if Oberon was actually Q? Then he'd be Cuberon.
A striking portrait of a turbaned woman is on the back wall. Gabriel wonders who she might be.
Oh, and hey, a snake.
A very large, very formidable-looking snake is secured in a plexiglass cage.
The Cubert, yes. Let me just save real quick. You know this light switch over here? It's really easy to miss in this background. But if we happen to flip that on...
What does this do?
Turn that thing off.
Oh, sorry.
We have air conditioning, you see.
Yeah, I see.
Apparently, it, makes the snake go nuts. Cool. Good to know. Anyway, let's chat up Dr. John for a while.
Could I ask you some questions?
That is why I am here.
Alright.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Historical voodoo? Or the voodoo currently practiced in the city?
Alright, now we have some extra dialogue options.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
The killings in the newspaper? I know that they have nothing to do with true voodoo in New Orleans.
Good to know. Thanks. I guess what case is closed.
What do you think of New Orleans?
It is the only city in the United States as far as I am concerned.
I don't know what that means.
Do you know anything about snakes?
Ah, you have perhaps noticed the museum's snake, Mr. Knight. They are beautiful creatures, do you not agree? And the tourists seem to associate them with voodoo.
Cool. I'm not sure we ever mentioned our name, but hey.
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
No, I have not.
Damn, it's like asking random people about this random German word is just getting us nowhere. New Orleans is flat. Everything falls into outer space outside the city limits. I think there was a Twilight Zone about that.
Tell me about yourself.
Me?
Yes, if you don't mind.
What is it you wish to learn?
Let's see.
Why did you open a voodoo museum?
The subject has fascinated me all my life, and I wanted to help preserve the cultural heritage it represents.
Makes sense.
What kind of background in voodoo do you have?
Let us say that I cut my teeth on it, Mr. Knight. It is in my blood.
That's a perfectly normal answer.
Do you do anything besides run the museum?
No. The museum does not make me a rich man, but my material needs are simple. I prefer to focus on my one true interest in life.
What are your own religious beliefs?
My beliefs are too personal and too complex to discuss with a layman, Mr. Knight.
Bite your own blood for a living. You're right, it sounds like he's a vampire. We better stake him just to be sure.
Just tell me anything.
I am originally from the West Indies myself, you know.
Really? What brought you to New Orleans?
I was drawn here for personal reasons.
Actually, I can't think of a thing.
And you're pretty
Then,
well drawn,
let
too.
us discuss something else.
If he was drawn here for personal reasons, he's well drawn.
Tell me about historical voodoo.
Very well. I will start at the beginning, Mr. Knight, and will go
All right.
on from there at your prompting.
Sounds good.
As you may know, voodoo is a grassroots religion formed by the mixing together of many different African tribal religions and Anglo religions, such as Catholicism or Protestantism. In other words, it is a religion born of the African slave trade, but African slaves were imported not only by the United States, but also into the West Indies, where the French and Spanish ran plantation islands. Prior to 1803, the New Orleans area was owned by France. The French Creole in those days owned many African slaves, but the Creole did not permit their slaves to gather, giving no chance for voodoo to breed here natively. The Creole also knew enough about the corrupted pagan practices of the West Indies slaves to ban the importing of slaves from that region.
Now, as I recall, we get points for going through the entire explanation of both historical voodoo and current-day voodoo. So we're going to listen to the entire lecture, even though it's a bit like having Wikipedia read at us. There's a lot of detail in this. Yeah, hello, sudden recording change. I have to wonder if that was backfilled in later somehow? I don't know.
So, how did voodoo come to New Orleans?
After the Louisiana Purchase, American legislators relaxed regulations. Slaves were permitted to gather. The Americans also removed the ban on West Indies slaves. Around the same time, a slave revolt occurred in Santo Domingo, what is now Haiti. Between the lifting of the ban and the Haitian revolt, West Indies slaves began pouring into New Orleans. Some of them were free people of color, freed or escaped slaves. Some came with their white owners who were fleeing from the revolt.
I do wonder, now that you mention it, I noticed that he has like two different tones of voice.
What happened when the West Indies slaves got here?
They brought voodoo with them. The native slaves were more than enthusiastic about embracing it. It gave them power, Mr. Knight, if only in the form of a communal bond. Among the first meeting places were the Bayou Saint John and the shore of Lake Pontchartrain. The early voodoos were heavy snake worshippers, worshipping the one they called the Great Zombie.
Never expected early 90s PC speakers to be good enough. That's entirely possible. Like, I know back in the day, back when I played this the first couple of times, I did not notice the heavy, hissy compression on the voices, because I simply wasn't listening for it. Now I can hear every, mic pop and crackle, but...
Tell me more about historical voodoo.
By 1817, the voodoo activities were beginning to cause fear among the white slave owners. An ordinance was passed to forbid slave gatherings except in designated public areas at designated times. The time was Sunday afternoons and the place Congo Square. The slaves and free people of color gathered to dance simulations of their voodoo dances right in sight of Creole society. Of course, they also continued to meet in private for the real thing.
Tell me more about historical voodoo.
There were a variety of kings and queens at first, voodoo priests and priestesses. But from about 1830, a single power emerged. This was a voodoo queen named Marie Laveau. Marie Laveau ruled voodoo in New Orleans for many years.
I just heard the You Got Points jingle and we unlocked a new conversation topic.
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
There were actually two Marie
Gabriel, don't try to
Laveaus,
be
mother
French.
and daughter. Most people thought they were the same woman. Her continued youth added to the mystique. The original, the mother, was also known as Widow Paris. It was she that began the empire. When the widow Paris began to practice, there were many voodooans in the city. By 1830, she was voodoo queen of all New Orleans.
Yeah, tell me about Marie Leveux. Like, Gabriel, no, you're busy being Southern. Don't be French, too. You're not Creole. I'm sorry. Oh. I'm still looking forward a lot to, there's a future bit of dialogue in which Gabriel pretends to be Irish, and it is my favorite piece of voice acting Tim Curry has ever done. And I will be sure to point it out when it comes around.
Tell me more about historical voodoo.
I've given you as much detail as I can, Mr. Knight.
Alright, we're done with
Look
historical.
around the museum if you desire more information.
Let's get into the modern day.
Tell me about current voodoo.
Many people think of voodoo in terms of magic spells or gree-gree. That kind of practice is actually called hoodoo, and is only a part of true voodoo. Voodoo, the religion, has a strong following in New Orleans. In fact, it is growing quite rapidly. There are several voodoo churches or temples in the city, and others all across the United States. African Americans see it as a tradition all their own. Whites, and there are many in their religion, are attracted to it because they think it is exotic. I, personally, am more interested in the history of voodoo. Some of the new movements are copying Haitian or even African voodoo. But it is the voodoo of New Orleans that I find so intriguing.
Regional stuff.
Tell me more about current voodoo.
There are many voodooans in New Orleans. They often do business selling gree-gree, telling fortunes, providing luck, and occasionally misfortune. Perhaps you would like to meet a voodooan. We refer those who seek a deeper experience with voodoo to a local practitioner, Magentia Moonbeam.
Sure, I'd love to meet her.
She lives on the corner of Orleans and Dauphine. I will call her and tell her you might stop by.
Great, thanks.
And we got points again. Hoodoo?
What exactly is hoodoo?
Hoodoo refers to magic folk traditions of the South. Hoodoo is a bastard of voodoo. Many of the gree-gree are similar, but hoodoo does not have the religious aspects of voodoo.
Fandom gatekeeping. Well, yeah, religious fandom gatekeeping. And, anything on Malia Getty?
Do you know Malia Getty?
Should I?
She referred me to your museum.
Many have read about our museum in the newspapers, Mr. Knight.
That's a good point.
Valid. Alright, well, we've learned all we can learn here.
Thanks a lot. Bye now.
Walk carefully out there, Mr. Knight.
Oh, Gabriel always walks carefully. Look at him. Alright, let's hit up Miss Moonbeam and, see what she has to say.
Welcome, Seeker. You must be the one Dr. John called me about.
I guess so. My name is...
Wait, Gabriel Knight?
You're too quick for me.
Actually, Dr. John told me. You have come to the right place, Mr. Knight. Tell me how I can help.
I've always thought Miss Magentia Moonbeam has perhaps the most authentic sounding accent in this entire game. She doesn't sound strained or forced. And she has a snake.
A large, sluggish snake rests on the floor of the fancy bird cage. Apparently, Magentia is not a fastidious housekeeper. A shed skin shares the cage with its original owner.
Is this bird statue
The
anything?
Moonbeam residence looks like a cross between a voodoo temple and a Victorian fortune teller's parlor by way of Haight Street.
Yeah, I did notice the,
A large crystal ball is prominently displayed.
I did notice that.
Magentia Moonbeam is wrapped in gauze and silks. She looks vaguely mysterious and mysteriously vague.
Well, now that the voice in our head is done narrating at us, let's,
Dr. John tells me you're a voodoo practitioner of some kind.
Yes, I am a voodoo yen, a voodoo priestess.
Do you get many people in here on an average day?
Some days the need for my power is greater than others. But I have many regular clients who would be lost without my vision, Mr. Knight.
I can imagine.
alright, let's get interrogational.
Could I ask you a few questions?
Of course, Seeker.
Let's run down the list.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
My practice is mainly selling charms and potions with magic power, such as gree-gree and voodoo oils. You know, everything from unrequited love to wandering spouses to winning a lawsuit. But my spells and charms are powerful, and they work.
She does kind of look like she should be, helping you level up in a Souls game, maybe.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Why, that has nothing to do with me and my clientele. But I can tell you that you should stay as far from it as possible. There is badness there. Very bad.
So, what we've learned is that murder bad. Good to know. This land is peaceful, its inhabitants fluffy.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
New Orleans is the center of voodoo practice in the United States.
Oh, good to know.
Do you know anything about snakes?
Snakes? You mean like my beloved Grimwald? She's a python, you know. Quite deadly in the wrong hands. I was trained by one of the great voodoo queens to learn how to hypnotize and handle snakes.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
Oh, yes. She was the first of the
No,
great
she's no fluffy
voodoo
dragon, but she is
queens.
apparently a fluffy snake handler.
Have you ever heard the word Schottenjäger?
I don't know anything about that.
About Grimwald.
What about her?
Where'd you get Grimwald?
She belonged to a traveling reptile show. She was being terribly mistreated, so I offered to buy her. She's named after a spirit guide I had once. The spirit Grimwald was a very powerful female snake priestess in Egyptian times.
Grimwald doesn't sound Egyptian.
I only know what the spirits tell me. Monsieur, I am sure they know better than we.
Yeah, Grimwald, a very Egyptian name.
How about showing me how you handle Grimwald?
Really? You would like to see me dance, perhaps?
That would be swell.
I won't make you wait, Monsieur Knight.
Okay.
No matter what you see, do not be frightened.
I'll give it my best shot.
Grimwald's a really good sport. Like, Grimwald is clearly tolerating this with great humor. Give me that.
Gabriel grabs the shed snake skin while Magenta is otherwise occupied.
Wee. I mean, I think Grimwald may be stuffed. He's in a
There.
torpor.
Truly inspiring, isn't it?
That's certainly one word for it.
Right. One moment, please.
Gabriel magnifies the shed skin from Magentia Moonbeam's snake. The snake scales are hued brown. They don't match the scale from Lake Pontchartrain.
Okay, good to know. Just thought I'd check. And while I'm at it, you know anything about these?
Do these symbols mean anything to you?
Ah, the voodoo code. It is very secret, yes. I studied it with my mentor, the great Queen Tabitha.
Really? Great. Can you tell me what it says?
Let's see.
It would not.
Well, some of it is nonsense, I'm afraid.
I know every way to
Whoever wrote
die in this
wasn't
game,
very
and
good.
I'll show everyone
That's all
off.
right. Just tell me what it says.
It starts with a D and a J, and then... Okay, this part makes sense. It says, conclave tonight, bring... then there's more nonsense. FWETKASH. Well, that last bit might mean cash. Fresh cash? It doesn't make much sense.
That's okay, thanks.
Why does this lady's accent remind you of a mouse?
DJ Conclave. K-A-S-H. It's a start.
I'm happy I could help.
You know, give me just a second while I, pull up IMDb again, because I'm curious now. I know at one point I knew who did Magentia's voice, but... Nancy Lanehan, who has been in, A League of Their Own, My Name is Earl... Yeah. Like everyone else in this game's voice acting list, How I Met Your Mother... Like everyone else in this voice acting list, she has bounced around sitcoms for her entire career. She has been all over the place. Anyway, I think we can go now.
Well, I guess I'll be gone now.
The only vice is the absence of love.
I've heard that. Bye now.
What does that mean? Okay, sure. And let's wrap up our tour with a trip to the Dixieland drugstore.
Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Bonjour, Monsieur Walker.
Oh, bienvenue, Madame Casino. Comment ça va? How you be feeling today?
Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Walker, I'm certain someone's buried a slip-knot bag somewhere near my steps. I haven't slept a wink in weeks.
Oh, don't that beat all? Well, you're gonna need some easy night candles then.
Do you think that would help? I do hope you're right. I said 3 rosaries this morning for Our Lady's intervention.
Rosaries are good, sure enough. But you burn those candles too, and you gonna whip any old no-sleep gree-gree, I tell you for sure.
Very well, Mr. Walker. Put them on my account and send them round to my house. Oh, and there's another thing. I didn't catch her at it, but I know Mrs. Lefebvre put stomachache powder in my tea at the last meeting of the Creole Grand Dames. Oh, I've been in misery.
You put 9 pinheads up in a little box, add a pinch of graveyard dust, and put it under her front porch step. That'll turn the trick back on Mrs. Lefebvre, and she'll be the one with the bellyache. I have the pins and the dust right here if you want 'em.
If the Blessed Virgin will grant me her protection, I'll be safe from these practitioners of evil.
Oui, madame. Though it don't hurt to be proactive none neither, now does it?
Naturellement, monsieur. Merci beaucoup.
Mais non, madame. It is nothing. Au revoir.
Au revoir, Monsieur Walker.
Fascinating exchange, that. There's a lot to unpack there. Let's drop a quick save. Willie Walker is Rocky Carroll, and I think he was in, like, every fucking episode of NCIS since the beginning of time. Alongside other things. Meanwhile, Madame Cathano was Susan Silo, who, was the White Queen in Pride of the X-Men. And more recently was in, Tales from the fucking Borderlands? You're kidding me. Digimon Data Squad? Wow. You never know where you're gonna find people's voices. Voice actors are everywhere. Hydration? Let's check this place out.
The mask appears to be made from a real crocodile head.
I want that.
To get the mask, Gabriel would have to buy it.
Damn, there's always a catch.
The sign says, Special Saint Jean Eve, Lagnappe, free bottle of lover come back to me oil, or master gambling oil, with every purchase over $50.
Lagniappe. My French is lousy, but everyone in New Orleans knows what that means. A little something extra.
I'm not sure it's pronounced Lagniappe, but Gabriel's the boss here.
The glass jars contain a number of things Gabriel can't identify.
And wouldn't want to.
There are many, many things Gabriel can't identify in this world.
The shelf hold containers of dried items, flowers, grass, black cat bones. The sign says power items.
Ah, they're for your power.
The poster reads, power will be yours when you use Papa Legba's power drawing incense and master power oil. Buy some today. The proprietor doesn't look especially friendly. His business probably doesn't depend on walk-ins.
Look, let's be real. Gabriel is not much of a bard. Like, he can't even get a novel written. Neither can I, to be fair, but I'm not a bard.
Mind if I ask you a few questions?
Ask what you want. I'll answer what I want.
Do you know anything about snakes?
What kind of snakes?
The kind they use in voodoo?
Pythons and boas. So I've heard.
Really? Do you have one?
Are you crazy? What would I want with a python?
That's a good question. What would you want with a python? Alan? Oh, yeah, John Wick is not Alan Wake. Thank God, that would be a much stranger game. Why did you type John? Because they're both sad, mopey sack humans. I don't know.
What's the significance of St. John's Eve?
It's the biggest night of the year in voodoo.
What goes on exactly?
I couldn't say.
He just refuses to give us any information.
That customer of yours, the little old lady?
Customer?
The woman I saw in here. Madame Cazonou, you called her.
I don't talk about my customers to men who come in off the street.
Yeah, he's got better operational security than most system administrators I know, actually. Gabriel Knight is the Tim Curry of Jerry Rice. Isn't Jerry Rice a, like a football human? He plays with balls? I don't know who football people are. The vaunted football humans of planet Earth.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
I've lived here all my life, me.
Can you tell me what you know about voodoo?
This is a novelty shop, monsieur.
Isn't Jerry Rice when you comb your cupboard? Yeah, I'm just gonna go with yes.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Cabri Sancour.
What did you say?
Nothing. Those killings have nothing to do with my shop, monsieur.
What did you mean when you said Cabri Sancour?
I didn't say that.
Ugh.
You did. I heard you say it.
You
No,
heard
technically
wrong,
he
monsieur.
did not say that.
I said no such thing.
Like, what he said was Cabri Sancour, and what you said was, like, Cabri Sancour. Like, handle your fucking vowels, Knight. Okay, well, fine. You wanna... You tell me anything about any of this?
Do you know anything about these crosses? I think there's some kind of code.
Looks like a lot of hen tracks to me, man.
Oh, well, thanks. Let's see if we've done enough to go home yet. Have we solved enough puzzles to, have the day end?
Lucy, I'm home.
Really? I forgot you were gone.
Thanks, Grace. Maybe we can ask for some books.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Could you do some research for me?
Sure. What?
I need you to look up a Madame Cazeneuve.
Madame Cazeneuve? Is she related to the murders the same way your friend, Malia Getty, was?
Grace, Cazeneuve's at least 70.
As if that makes a difference to you. Okay, I'll see what I can find. Anything else?
I can't think of anything.
Okay.
We have a French-English dictionary. We probably do,
It's time to close shop.
but it's time
So
for
it
the end of
is.
the day.
Have a nice night.
You too. See you tomorrow.
And that gets us into day 3. Which means more nightmares. Gabe's been sleeping so well. Now, drawn to Bacchus's abode, I sought there to conspire, but it was in the city of the dead I found my heart's desire. Now, there is a comic book you're supposed to read before day 3. It came packed in the box. I am gonna drop a link to my own analysis of that in chat. From back when I did this game as a sort of let's play thing. Soon as yeah, here we go. Here's the extra credit reading. If you care to read through it, that's fair. If you don't, that's also fair. But the story in it will come up later in the game, so it is not technically required.
I'm so glad you could join us today. I've got messages when you want them. I also checked out Kazanu. There are multiple listings in the white pages. I got the page, but you'll have to figure out the right one.
I love Gabriel's complete inability
Right,
to be
thanks.
awake. Coffee.
Now, are you gonna tell me what happened yesterday with Malia Getty, or is it just too embarrassing? Don't tell me you actually got to see her.
Are the stars out tonight?
Gabriel, you don't seriously think she's interested? She can have any man in the city. You know, men with bank accounts.
You underestimate the Knight family's tragic poet samurai appeal. When Daddy married Mom, she was the hottest catch in town.
I always suspected there was something fishy in your family tree. But seriously, I think you should be careful.
Grace.
I'm serious. I don't know why, but I have a bad feeling in the pit of my stomach about this.
It's called jealousy, my dear. And you're right. You should be jealous of Malia Getty, as should every woman on this planet.
Oh, never mind. I'll just fix these books. Your life is in your own slippery little hands.
The point is to get it into somebody else's hands. And soon.
So there's a lot to unpack there. I don't know which to start with. Gabriel's, like, cat boy meowing. Or Samurai? He pronounces samurai like he's never seen or heard of the word in his entire life. Let's check the horoscope.
Times Picayune, dated June 20, 1993. Gabriel scans over an uninteresting front page. Under the cultural events section, there's a notice about a lecture on African religions. The lecture is at Tulane University.
Tulane University.
Gabriel's horoscope for the day. An evil eye is upon you. Change course before it's too late.
Lighten up.
Jeez, dude. I have to wonder what every other Aquarius in the city is thinking at this point. Alright, so we have, the white pages. Let's... Jesus Christ. C is for Cujo. That's good enough for me. Alright, here's the Kazano section. I guess we just have to, like, dead dial these. Yeah, Aquarius, you are going to be fucking murdered! Gabriel Knight is a stupid idiot who should stop doing things. I'm sure if they thought that would work, they would try it. Alright, let's head back to Gabriel's little studio apartment. I gotta be real, the older I get, the more I think at least he's got like a cool looking bedroom.
Mardi Gras mementos left by some female or other. Mardi Gras.
Yeah,
Gabriel's reference books occupy a space near his typewriter. The typewriter is beginning to accumulate cobwebs.
Should I feel guilty? Nah.
No, it's the children who are wrong. You wanna fucking write your novel, Gabe?
Writer's block.
Yeah, sure. Let's keep looking around.
Several dozen books, including a few of Gabriel's novels, occupy the shelves above his desk.
Right, I keep forgetting he's actually written previous novels. Can we check
Gabriel
those out?
doesn't need anything from the bookshelf.
No, of course we can't.
The medicine cabinet contains a few old prescriptions, personal hygiene stuff, and lots of hair products, including some hair gel.
Well, shit. Obviously we're gonna fucking need that.
I'll take this hair gel. You never know when you'll need a touch-up.
Yeah, he's a rotor. He's a rotary tool.
Gabriel's bedroom is also his office, his studio, and library. A little cold bubbly and brie cheese is about all Gabriel's fridge ever has in it. Bills from last Christmas gather dust on the door.
Wanna make the bed, maybe? No.
It's no use. I can't sleep.
Cool.
Jeans and t-shirts.
Of course it is. Jeans and t-shirts. The universal outfit.
All my clothes look the same, so why change them?
Jesus Christ, Knight. Okay. I hope he does not intend to be in the same outfit for the duration. Right. I forgot why we went back there. I was so busy dunking on Gabe. I forgot to actually use the fucking phone. Alright, what do we got? Hold on. I have to actually memorize the number. Hey kids, do you remember when the phone book was a thing that existed? Haha! 555-1270. Alright.
Hello.
Hi, is this the Kazanu residence?
Yes. What can I do for you?
Do you or does anyone in your family patronize the Dixieland drugstore?
I'm a busy man. What are you selling?
Nothing.
Good. Goodbye.
Okay. We can scratch the top one off the list. Yeah, he has a curtain. That's it. He does not have a door. 555-1220, it looks like, is next.
Hello, Kazanu residence?
Hi, I was wondering if you could help me.
Yeah?
A woman in the Dixieland drugstore dropped her purse today, and the name Kazanu was inside it.
Dixieland drugstore? Never heard of it. Sorry.
Alright. Next. 1237. Oh, no, 1280. Alright, 1280. It's probably gonna be the last one.
Hello?
Hello? I'm calling from the Dixieland drugstore. We have an order for you.
Castro, be quiet! Who is this?
Got her.
I'm a friend of the owner.
I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about.
But she won't talk to us. I'm a friend of the owner. Alright, so when you're being, like, an inquisitive sleazeball, and the obvious routes have closed to you, try alternate routes.
Cajun Critters Animal Clinic. This is Melissa.
Do you have a Madame Kazanu as a client?
Madame Kazanu? Sure, I know her. She's not here right now, though.
Really? She told me she'd be there. Would you happen to have her address by any chance?
Yes, but I'm not sure I should give it out. Who are you again?
I'm worried about Castro. He's missed 3 dance lessons.
Castro? Her little doggy? Oh, he's so sweet. Well, I guess if you know Castro, it's okay. Her address is 345 Dauphine.
Thanks.
Was that Tim Curry trying to do a Louisiana accent, trying to do California Server Dude? You know, I think it was. That woman is terrible at her... She's probably fine at her actual job, which is, you know, working with pets.
I'm going out.
Don't hurry back on my account.
Alright, let's hit up Madame Casino.
It would be better to be invited inside.
By whose metric?
Yes? Who is it?
Hi, I'm doing an article on voodoo, and I heard that you...
I am a good Catholic, young man. Take your evil influence elsewhere.
But I just have a few questions.
I can feel the evil eye. Go away.
A good Catholic, huh? Good to know.
Yes? Who is it?
I have some fine magazine subscriptions for sale.
I'm sorry, but I'm not interested.
I've got some great pet supplies. Could you cool little doggy?
Little
Castro
doggy?
has everything he needs. Don't you, Castro?
Thanks a lot, Castro. Land shark.
You are no Bill Murray.
Please let me talk to you, Madame Cazanou.
I don't talk to strangers, young man.
Well, she doesn't want to reenact any Saturday Night Live skits of the 1970s. So, but there is one type of person she'll trust. That being a priest. Yeah, did she name her dog
Gabriel
Fidel
cannot do
Castro?
anything with the chancel.
That is a good question. Alright, so here we are in St. George's Cathedral.
I can't resist black.
And we are stealing a priest's outfit.
There's no reason to wait.
We can't put it on right now. Can we get a collar?
There's a box.
Yeah, we gotta get the collar, too.
Well, you never know when a priest's collar will come in handy.
So now we have the full set. And as long as we're here, let's make use of the confessional. Just to hear what Gabe has to confess.
The confessional is empty.
Oh, okay. Well, let's,
May I help you, my
Oh.
child?
I'd like to make a confession.
All right, if it will make you feel better.
I've had a lot of women, Father.
A lot? More than 10?
Yes, Father.
okay, you're just bragging.
20.
Gabriel.
Yes, Father.
More than
Gabriel.
40?
Yes, Father.
Son, I don't think this is a matter for a priest. I think you need a good therapist.
Yes, Father.
Is there anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Goodbye, then. Peace go with you.
Peace on you too. It's nice to be recommended therapy by the Catholic Church for being too horny. Like, wow. I don't know what to say there. And now it's time. It's time for my favorite moment in all voice acting history. It's time for the accent.
The things I do for my art.
Let's smooth our hair down. Get dressed as a priest.
All right, but this is private.
This is private, he says, changing into a priest outfit on the crowded street. And now...
Yes? Who is it?
It's Father McLaughlin to see you.
Father McLaughlin, you say? You must be new in the parish. I'm so pleased to meet you, Father. Do come in.
Thank you, my child.
Thank you, my child.
Please be seated, Father.
Thank you.
Now, what can I do for you?
It's so nice of you to invite me in.
Ah, but no, mon père. I am always happy to see one of the good fathers.
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions, my child?
Of course not, mon père.
Alright, let's start with herself.
Tell me about yourself.
Me? I am Creole. My family has been in New Orleans for over 200 years. Real New Orleanians are French, you see. These days the city is overrun with people with no heritage at all. No offense, Father, but it's true. But the French, naturellement, will always be the true blood of New Orleans.
Sure.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
St. John's Eve? Mais oui! I used to love the St. John's Eve Mass at Sandwick Cathedral. Of course, it is also a night of great wickedness, worse than All Hallows Eve. They will corrupt anything, Father.
They? They who?
Oh, you know.
Yeah. Love the St. John Mass. I don't think so, but...
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
The only true New Orleanians are of French origin, you know. My family were among the original settlers of New Orleans. They came here from France. The Creole society used to be so gay in New Orleans. Now it barely hangs on by its fingernails.
Alright.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
Oh, her? I could tell you about her. Voodoo Queen. Ah! My great-grandmother was an acolyte of Marie Laveau. She knew the truth about her.
What was the truth? Okay.
Do you know anything about snakes?
Snakes? They're evil creatures. Did you know that evil people can send them into your dreams? They can. That's why I never sleep.
Right, thanks.
Snakes began manifesting in her house physically.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
People think I'm just a foolish old woman. but I know the things they do.
They do
My
for voodoo?
family's been in New Orleans since 1750, so I know more than most. Voodoo people are all over this city, in the shops, everywhere. They'll curse you like that, and most people don't even notice. Spit on your bread at the bakery. Take strands of your hair at the store when you try on the clothes. You have to be so careful. But I know their ways, so I can protect myself. I know how to use the magic too, and I can counteract their evil spells.
I don't think spitting on your bread is a magic spell, ma'am. I think they just hate you.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Voodoo murders? Ha! They are nothing new to me, father. They happen all the time. I hardly go out anymore. It's too dangerous in the streets. They can get you anywhere, you know. Even here in this room. But I try not to let them know about me. That's the best way.
Alright.
Do you have any idea what Cabri Sans Corps means?
Mais oui. I know. I bet you do not, father, n'est-ce pas?
No, I don't.
Just as I thought. You shouldn't talk about things you don't understand.
Ah, so I guess we need to find out what that means before she'll open up to us the rest of the way. I had forgotten
Well,
that.
madame, I must be going.
Of course, father. I know how busy you must be tending your flock.
Yep, that's me. I gotta flock off.
I'm not going back on the street looking like this.
Yeah, someone might get the wrong idea again. Let's head out to the university. Maybe we can learn something worthwhile. Okay, this is the longest unbroken expeditional dump in the game, if I recall.
It looks like the lecture is just starting. Gabriel decides to record the session.
Voodoo is the tribal religion of Africa, but the name Voodoo is actually a banner heading under which resides an entire body of distinct tribal belief systems. The word voodoo may sound familiar to you. What is known in the States as voodoo is actually an amalgamation of African religious systems, voodoo, and European religions, primarily Catholicism. All of the subcults of African voodoo have certain things in common. The most important is the worship of a pantheon of spirits instead of the single deity that the Christian and Muslim systems have. Some of these spirits are elementals. Some relate to specific tasks or places. Some represent important tribal leaders.
Look at that fucking groove!
This spirit worship is what makes voodoo so easily
Look at him walk!
adaptable. With all those spirits, it's no problem to add a few more. Say, for example, the Virgin Mary. At the height of tribal Africa, warfare was common. The one tribe would conquer another, and the Loa, important in the conqueror's tribal system, would be adopted readily into the conquered tribe's Loa pantheon. In this way, many of the voodoo cults spread and mingled throughout tribal Africa, enriching the belief system and causing innumerable offshoots. The basis for the voodoo religion seems to be as old as man himself. It has much in common with many early pagan practices: animal totems, sympathetic magic, elemental spirits in the trees, the heavens, the bodies of the sick. Africa is believed by many to be the cradle of the human race. Some of the voodoo Loa may be as old as the Garden of Eden itself. We still can't explain some of the real power of these primal religions. And note, I said primal, not primitive. There are African Bokors who baffle our scientists with their supernatural powers. Now, let's discuss the elements of voodoo.
Fascinating guy.
In voodoo, the spirits are called the Loa. During a voodoo ceremony, celebrants are possessed by the Loa. And this is called being ridden. The human worshipper is seen
It's
as
a very
horse,
animistic
and the Loa
sort of thing, yes.
as the divine horseman. A person being ridden by a Loa takes on the characteristics of that spirit and becomes, in effect, merely a vessel for the more powerful entity. Some of the older original Africa Loa include Dambala, the great serpent god, Hezruli, the mistress of love, Papa Nebo or Gede, the lord of death, Agwe, the spirit of water, Legba, spirit of the crossroads, and the cruelest and most dangerous, Ogun Badagri, the lord of destruction.
Ugh. Oh, I gotta get more sleep at night.
Tribe-specific Loa can have as much or more power as the more widely worshipped Loa. For instance, a particular tribe might revere highly the Loa of an ancestor who was a legendary hunter or politician.
A legendary hunter-politician like Teddy Roosevelt.
Their priests, Hungan or Bokors. Their priestesses, Mama Loa. In a voodoo Haunfor, there's a ritual circle marked by a center pole called a Poto Mitan. The ritual circle is prepared with a veve, a pattern of symbols. Each tribe's veve is slightly different, consisting of complex symbols that identify their special Loa.
That reminds me, we
Ritual
gotta go pick up
conclaves,
that thing from the,
initiates dance under the
artist.
supervision of a Bokor and a Mama Loa, or head priestess. The use of totems or animal masks and markings was not uncommon in the original African ceremonies. Now, though, all but the oldest sects have abandoned this practice. Ritual objects used during the conclaves include the ritual gourd or asson, the ritual knife or kubasa.
That knife gives me the chills.
The ritual whip, or fouet cash, and the ritual coffin, or seke madule. These items are often optional, called for by the Mama Loa for specific magical rituals. The Mama Loa is the most powerful figure in any Voodoo sect. Voodoo is a truly matriarchal system. Even the Bokor knows his power is limited. The Mama Loa is the supreme woman. She, butterflies, fireflies.
Thanks, Gabe.
Firelight. No, what is it? Gabriel? What? I can't see. Gabriel, get in. Can't. It's too small for me. You must get in, Gabriel. It's not mine. Too small. Hide, Gabriel. Hide. No, no. Let me out. Help.
Young man, the lecture is over.
Oh my God, sorry.
Way to go, Gabe. Let's hope there was nothing important in, the last 40 minutes of that lecture. Maybe we can check the tape.
Voodoo is the
Yeah,
date of pertinent
Oh, great. Nope, all we've got at the end is just Gabe snoring. Let's see.
Gabriel scans the bulletin board. Greek night at the Alpha Psi Omega frat house. It looks like it took place sometime last spring.
Yeah, the foot cash got mentioned.
Gabriel scans the bulletin board. There's a notice for a lecture on investigative reporting techniques to be given by octogenarian Pulitzer Prize winner Laura Bo Dorian. Unfortunately, it's weeks away. By that time, Gabriel will have to have learned on his own.
Lara Bow Dorian, or simply Lara Bow, is the protagonist of 2 previous murder mystery games from Sierra. The Colonel's Bequest and The Dagger of Amon-Ra. I'm fond of both games, although I am terrible at them. I have never achieved anywhere near a maximum score. I can probably get through without dying too many times. Someday I'll stream them, and we'll see how I do. Most likely poorly. Celine has done The Dagger of Amon-Ra in the past. Well, on her blog. Not streamed. Someday I plan to stream that game, though. Right, I want to pick up that pattern reconstruction from the artist. And then we should, check back behind the scenes at Tulane University. Aha, there he is.
How's it going today?
What? Oh, it's only you. Man, I have been jumpy all day. That pattern of yours really freaked me out for some reason. There's just something creepy.
You finished it?
Yeah, and you're welcome to it. Here.
Wow, this is great.
Uh-huh. Just don't, like, blow up the planet with it or something, okay?
I didn't mean to upset you.
Forget it. I'm probably just being stupid. Do your thing with it, and good luck.
Is blowing up the planet with it an option? Because I want to blow up the planet with this thing.
The artist's reconstruction of the voodoo murders pattern
No, I got
looks
nothing.
accurate to Gabriel. Something about it seems vaguely familiar and creepy.
Man, I don't know how I would use that to blow up the planet, but if I could... Oh, fortune teller.
Madame Lorelei, the fortune teller, is garbed in a belly dancer's outfit and wears a boa around her neck. A real boa.
Nice. Let's say hi.
Come on, boys. Hoopla.
I don't know what that means. Well, she's getting down with it. God dang, they did some motion capture on her. Or motion capture? Yeah, not motion caption. Or maybe just some rotoscoping. Can we say hi?
She's busy at the moment.
Busy. Oh well. Well, can we get down and groove with her?
Not a bad idea.
Ooh, baby, I love the way you move.
Madame
Christ,
Lorelei
Gabriel.
winks knowingly at Gabriel and twitches her hip.
Yep, she wants me.
Well, there go her 7 veils. Most of them.
Thanks, boys.
Before we hand this back, let's...
The veil belongs to the fortune teller. It's covered with shiny iridescent sequins.
Yeah, well, let's get a closer look.
Gabriel examines the veil with a magnifying glass. That sequin looks a little strange. Why, it's a snake scale.
Aha! Can I just...
Gabriel carefully uses the tweezers to remove the snake scale from the veil.
And if we check it...
Gabriel magnifies the scale from the fortune teller. The iridescent scale is hued olive green. It doesn't seem to match the scale from Lake Pontchartrain.
Nope. We do not have a match. This lady is not the voodoo killer.
Could I ask you a few questions, Madame Lorelei?
The only answers I give are given in my reading. I'm sure your palm would be quite interesting.
Well, alright then.
Did you lose a veil?
Huh, my veil. I'm always losing those things. You have no idea. Well, darling, you're such a sweetie to return a lady's delicates, and so handsome as well.
Well,
And since you have such a clear interest in fortune
Sorry,
telling,
I choked on my tongue.
let me see your hands. They look so strong. Perhaps they will make both our fortunes clear, no?
I wish something would.
Strong. Yes, and yet so delicate and flexible.
You don't know the half of it.
Oh, good. I see a mysterious woman in your immediate future.
Madame Lorelei winks at Gabriel knowingly.
She is a dangerous one, dark and beautiful. Ah, I see the road of your life forking. And very soon.
The blood drains from Madame Lorelei's face in an instant. Sweat beads on her upper lip.
Are you okay?
Oh, God! Beware! Beware!
What is it about me lately?
Well, I'm sure that's perfectly normal to have the reaction. The fucking reverb was a nice touch, though. I can imagine that seriously scaring the hell out of... I think when I was a kid, it did scare the hell out of me briefly. I was way too young to be playing this. Alright, let's get back to Tulane University. We clearly need the help of an expert. Let's see if we've pissed off the only expert willing to talk to us. By sleeping.
Are you a student? No. My name is Knight. Gabriel Knight.
Well, you have walked into my private office, Mr. Knight. I hope you have something worthwhile to do here. If you figure it out, let me know.
There's no sarcasm like academic sarcasm, you know?
Dr. Hartridge is sharp-eyed and even sharper-tongued. When he condescends to look at Gabriel at all, it's with a dismissive glare. Dr. Hartridge's office is crowded with masks, carved figures, and strange objects.
So, start asking questions.
Mind if I pick your brain?
Not if it will get you out of my office.
Cool.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
I've read about them in the papers. I must admit to some interest. But according to the newspapers, the voodoo aspect is faked, so I haven't really pursued it. You know how Americans, especially Hollywood, treats voodoo. I'm sure there are many so-called practitioners out there that have no idea what they're doing or the power they're playing with.
Do you have any idea what Cabri sans Coeur means?
Cabri sans Coeur? Yes, I do. It's a Haitian term, I believe. It's French. and literally translates as goat without horns.
As in a female goat?
No, as in a human sacrifice. Sacrifices in voodoo are usually of the animal variety. Chickens, bulls, goats. If the gods demand a goat without horns, it means a human being.
Interesting.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
As I said in my lecture, which I assume you actually listened to, is that animal masks, totems, are used extensively in most African voodoo religions.
Tell me about bebés.
If you'd taken notes during my lecture, you wouldn't have to ask.
It's true. If we had fucking taken some notes. On the other hand, maybe you can tell us something about this bébé. Bébé?
Can you tell me anything about this pattern?
Wow. Interesting. Very interesting. Mind if I copy this?
Be my guest.
Great. I'll be right back. Here you go. You know, this is a fascinating baby. You must tell me all about its origin.
Actually, I was hoping you'd tell me. Can you figure out anything about it from the symbols?
Well, some. That's why I wanted a copy. I want to research the design myself. Each of the symbols in the bebe represents something, a loa, a place. Where did you get this?
Have you heard of the voodoo murders?
No, you're kidding. Really? Then the voodoo is authentic. The newspapers are wrong. Boy, are they wrong.
You think this bebe is authentic, then?
Authentic? Mr. Knight, that's like asking if the Mona Lisa is a painting.
Is
Tell
it?
you what, I'll look into these symbols myself and see what I can learn about the sect that made this. I'll give you a call when I have more information. You are associated with the police, aren't you?
Absolutely. But I'm, undercover. You can contact me at the St. George's bookshop in the quarter.
All right. Now, I'd like to get started on this if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. I wonder if he has any reaction to the actual murder photo.
Is there anything you can tell me about the voodoo aspects of this photograph?
This is serious voodoo ritual. Nasty stuff.
In what way?
Let's see. I can't make out much detail from this photograph. Except for the corpse, of course. But the wound, the face, and what little I can see of the ritual paraphernalia. It reminds me of certain black voodoo practices. Very rare. I've never witnessed them myself, you understand.
Really? Interesting. Thanks.
Well, that's good to know, but now we know what a Cabri Sanquar is.
Okay, thanks.
Goodbye.
A Capri Sun core. Hmm. 12 weeks of Capri Sun. Sorry, what were we talking? Oh, right. That means it's time to hit Madame Casino again. And that means it's priest time.
All right, but this is private.
She'll never believe us with that hair. We talked about a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. Yeah, I understand there's a cult
The
about
things
lambs.
I do for...
I don't know, anything about that.
Yes? Who is it?
It's Father McLaughlin back again, don't you know?
Yes, Father.
Don't you know?
Come on in.
Alright, it's time. One of my favorite scenes in the game,
Please
actually.
be seated, Father.
Thank you.
If I recall correctly.
Now, what can I do for you?
Do you mind if I ask you a few more questions, Madame?
If you wish, Father.
Alright, now we know what a Cabrice encore is.
About Cabrice encore.
Well, are you going to tell me what it means, Father?
It means goat without horns.
Father, you surprise me. You do know what it means. You know what they mean by goat without horns, don't you? A human being.
Creole!
That's right.
Southern French.
Cut out your heart. Pure evil murder.
Do you know anything about human sacrifice here in New Orleans?
Well, my great-grandmother could tell stories. She saw it. People say that sort of thing wasn't done in Orleans.
Gosh.
But
Sorry,
the real voodoo queens did it. Oh, yes.
That's what happens when you ask me to hydrate too much.
Who were the real voodoo queens?
Well, my great-grandmother told me that Lavaux was just a front, a flamboyant decoy.
Terribly hiccupy.
She distracted authorities from the real voodoo queen of New Orleans. It's been the same one for almost 200 years. She's head of a secret voodoo en fort. That's what they call their temples, you know. It's so secret, most of the voodoo people in the city don't even know about it. The real voodoo queen controlled Lavaux, gave her a little bit of power, and used her like a puppet.
Like a puppet on a string.
Tell me more about this secret voodoo hound four.
Well,
I've
never seen it. I wouldn't go near it if you paid me. But it's here in Orleans, I guarantee it. I hear the drums at night, oh yes. That's why I am so ill. I tell you, those drums. But we shouldn't talk about it. They'll hear us. It's the devil's work that happens there. I can tell you. I'll show you something. Something secret. You mustn't tell anyone, Father.
I swear on my collar.
Here it is, mon père. A true object of evil if there ever was one.
It radiates something, all right.
It belonged to my great-grandmother.
Your accent's slipping,
She told
Gabe.
my mother that it was a token to gain entrance to the real voodoo ceremonies.
You don't say.
To tell you the truth, I always felt nervous about having it in the house. You know, evil influence and all.
Oh, I can see how you would, yes.
And yet, I could never part with it. It's been in the family for generations. Would you bless it for me, Father? I feel strange asking such a thing of you, but surely you understand.
Bless this bracelet of a snake, even though its vibes aren't great. Let it do nobody harm when they wear it on their arm. Voodoo spirits, go away. Don't come back another day. And now, let us pray.
Yes, let us pray.
Gabriel has a thought about the clay.
Bless, oh bless this circlet of silver. Take the curse, oh take it, Wilbur.
A lovely blessing, mon père.
Yes, I think it made a lasting impression.
Here you go.
I feel so much better now.
Take the curse, so take it, Wilbur. So now we have...
It's a clay mold of Madame Kazunu's snake bracelet.
Made a good impression. Now if only we knew a jeweler.
Well, madame, I must be going.
Of course, Father. I know how busy you must be tending your flock.
Alright. It's been a whole 23
I'm
seconds
not going back on the street looking like this.
since Gabriel's done something morally repugnant. Let's go back to St. George's books.
Hey, Grace. Here I am.
The excitement of seeing you is killing me.
Didn't she say that she had some messages for us, actually?
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Our list is growing.
Do you know anything about black voodoo?
Black voodoo? Now, what are you getting yourself into?
Nothing you need to know about. Do you?
I know there are dark forms of any major religion. Where there's a yin, there's a yang.
Speaking of yin and yang...
But no, I don't know anything really about voodoo, dark or otherwise. Sorry.
Yeah, just checking.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
I'd really rather not hear about your sex life, Knight.
Everybody always assumes that furries are just going straight for the porn.
Do you have messages for me?
Your pal Mosley called. He left a message that they're interrogating a suspect this morning and you might want to be there.
Sounds fun.
Mm-hmm. I bet.
Do you have more messages for me?
That man from Germany called again, Wolfgang Ritter. Now he's claiming to be a relative of yours. I took down his number. If you change your mind and want to give him a call back, just ask me for it.
Can I get that phone number for Wolfgang Ritter?
Sure. I'll give it to you when we're done talking.
Alright, we might as well talk to Wolfgang Ritter.
Do you have more messages for me?
I've given everything to you.
You sure have, Grace. You sure have.
Do you know what caprice encore means?
No. Sounds French, though.
Good work.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
Wasn't she a big voodoo queen before the Civil War?
That's right.
Well, you just heard everything I know about her.
That's fair.
Could you do some
Can
research
I get any
for me?
research done?
Sure. What?
I have a pattern I need you to research.
How interesting. What is it?
It's a reconstruction of the tracings they found around the murder victims. The ones done in flour and blood.
Ugh. You shouldn't carry this kind of thing around. Who knows what these symbols mean?
Well, wear your evil banishing gloves if you want. But check it out for me, would you?
I'll see what I can find out. Anything else?
I can't think of anything.
Okay. Here's that phone number.
Thanks.
Cool. Okay, we're just gonna hang out for a second and see if something happens. And the answer is not really. Okay. Well, let's try the phone. We could do worse than to get some actual help from someone vaguely useful.
It's customary to pick it up first.
Oh, are you gonna make me fucking dial this by
The
hand?
number written on the note is 4909
4909
324
324 3333 3. Yes, 3. There are 3 threes. Zero, 9, fuck. All I can think about is threes!
The number written
Yeah,
on the
4909 324. 4909 324 3333.
Guten Tag, Sie haben Schloss Ritter erreicht?
I'm looking for Wolfgang Ritter.
Ja, einen Moment.
Yeah, is this Gabriel on the phone?
This is Gabriel Knight. Why are you calling me, Mr. Ritter?
I have been having premonitions of great danger for you, Gabriel. You must leave New Orleans this very day.
What the hell are you talking about?
It is hard to explain on the phone. I have had senses, feelings about you. It took me a long time to have you tracked down. I had a sense that Heinz had a grandson, but until these dreams started, I did not know if I should contact you.
You say you're related to my grandfather?
Yes, Heinz was my brother. There is much about the family that you should know, Gabriel. Come to Schloss Ritter in Rittersberg, West Germany. It is our family home. I will tell you everything when you come. You must come immediately. You are in great danger there.
Look, I appreciate the family spirit and all, but frankly I don't know you from Adam, and I'm not going to fly off to Germany even if I could afford it.
Gabriel, please. If you won't listen, at least let me send you something. It is a journal from one of your ancestors. Promise me you will read it.
Well, I'm pretty busy.
Please, Gabriel, you are the last of our line. I am too old to carry on. You are our last hope. Please, for your family, read the journal.
All right, I'll look at it.
Good. Now be careful and come to me as soon as you can. Goodbye.
I gotta be real, if somebody from my family called me and told me they were having dreams and visions about me and backed it up with, like, print evidence, I would pretty much be inclined to do what the fuck they said. Now, that may open me up to scammers, but at least they would be creative scammers, you know? Like, come on, that would take some effort. If they're willing to put in enough effort to scam me, I'm down for, you know, a little bit of scammage. Alright, what have I got left to do today? Oh, yeah, we should go see Mosley Interrogated Dude. That sounds like a great time, doesn't it?
I've got some things I need to do.
Uh-huh.
That's down at the police station. We can just walk back there, they don't give a shit. Aw, man, my long-lost Romanian cousin.
Glad
Yeah,
you
that'd be
made it.
great.
It'll give you a feel for how I am in action. You know, handling suspects, that sort of thing.
I'm sure it'll be invigorating. Who is this guy anyway?
Calls himself Crash. He's been an informant for us before, mostly helping us bust small-time pimps and dealers trying to break into the territory. Well, he's been staying invisible during these murders, but we picked him up this morning to Jackson Square. Pushing coke? He knows something. Call it detective's instinct.
Detective's instinct. Got it.
All right, Crash. I want to hear about these murders.
Tell me about the boys.
So-called voodoo ritual?
I don't know nothing. I told you.
Come on now, you can tell me. Do you know anyone who's been to these rituals?
Look, I can't say nothing. You gotta let me go, man.
Now, you relax. No one knows you're here. The men who picked you up were plainclothesmen.
Plain clothes, like you could fool them. They know I'm here. They've got ears all over the city. They know everything.
Now, who are they, Crash? Are they the ones doing the murders?
Let me go.
If you're so worried about being detained, start talking. Now, you tell me what I want to hear.
This is not working, Mosley.
You in the witness protection program. But you have to earn it.
Witness protection? Are you crazy? Don't make me laugh. Jesus, just let me out of here.
Hello, Tiger.
Oh, come on. Who's behind these murders, Crash? Why are the victims all members of the underworld?
By now they know I'm here. I mean, it's different when I'm supposed to come here. I can send a message.
Thank you for the bits.
Tell him I didn't say nothing.
Christ, he's frickin' useless. Take him back to detaining, would you, Tony?
Yep, typical cop stuff. Absolutely
I tell you,
useless.
times like this, I'd kill for truth serum and damn the civil rights.
Can I quote you on that?
Huh? Hell no. Damn! We can only keep him for 24 hours. Tomorrow morning, I might have to let him go. Sorry it wasn't more exciting. For the book, I mean. Maybe you can punch it up some. You know, what do they call that? Fiction. That's it.
It certainly is. I'll see what I can do.
You know, at this point, I think maybe Gabriel should try using some fiction. Because if he puts everything in his book that he said he's going to put in his book, it's going to be like 1,500 pages, and you can kill yourself by dropping it on yourself in your sleep. If it falls off a shelf or something, you would just die immediately. Anyway, I can't think of anything we need to give Mosley. Let's just bugger off out of here.
I'll let you get back to it.
Later, Knight.
Anyway, thank you for the bits, Tiger, as always. It is folks like you who keep this public broadcasting system going. The bird? I admit, what are we giving the bird? Alright, the cemetery. Let's see if this has changed any.
The voodoo code message is still on the wall.
Answer is no. Has not changed. Let's just take a stroll through the cemetery. Remember that poem at the start of the day? City of the Dead. Look out for boxing priests. Look out for, you know, Boxing Day. If Boxing Day occurs, you may have found Canada. Oh, hello.
Malia.
Mr. Knight, what are you doing here?
My family's tomb is here.
Mine too.
I noticed. Subtle.
Well, Mr. Knight, if there's nothing else.
Don't go. I need to talk to you.
Whatever for.
I can't stop thinking about you. I've been in your thoughts too. I can see it in your eyes.
Mr. Knight, you don't know anything about me. I'm not in a position to get involved.
I've said that a million times myself, but this is different. I think we both know we can't fight it. Oh, I can't believe I'm saying this.
I have so many obligations. My family is very traditional. You wouldn't understand.
Hey, I love tradition. I've seen Fiddler on the Roof 100 times.
You're
This
Gabriel,
isn't
you're
a
so
musical,
bad at
Mr.
this!
Knight. We live in different worlds.
Gabriel, you're so fucking bad at this! God! Okay, sorry.
Look, I know you've got more money than God. Do you think I care? Do you think that's why I'm saying this?
No, I don't.
Why don't you come see my world? I have a little bookshop, St. George's on Bourbon.
I know.
See? I knew it. You're crazy about me, too. Come by tonight. Please. My world isn't so bad.
I'm sorry, but there's no place for someone like you in my life. Not now, not ever.
Not now, not later, not ever.
Damn it.
So yeah. That was an epic fumble. But now we know where the Getty tomb is.
An angel draped dramatically over a stone plinth marks the entrance to a large tomb.
You don't see a lot of plinths in modern architecture, you know? No, I think we have to leave off this side of the screen. Maybe not today. Maybe not tomorrow, but someday. And for the rest of your life. Oh, come on. Come on, Gabe. Come on. Gotta play Hunt the fucking Magic Pixel to get him off screen. Tomorrow is another day. Yeah, you gotta hunt the Magic Pixel to get him to walk off the screen. It's probably because I'm playing in a window, which makes the screen borders a little... Maybe tomorrow is another day. Maybe tomorrow isn't another day. What if tomorrow doesn't come? It didn't come yesterday. Alright, I think that should be everything.
I knew you'd miss me, so I came back.
I wish you wouldn't wear that coat outside in June. I could smell you from here.
Ah. Yeah, God, what else do I have to do today? Let's see, there was, the code. We checked out the lecture. We hit up the fortune teller. We got the Veve, and we talked with... What's his face? We talked with Madame Kazanaugh. Oh, right, I remember now. This part is always a sticking point for me.
See you later.
Uh-huh.
What we need to do, and I just glanced at a walkthrough to remind myself, because I always forget this. This is always the last thing I end up doing.
Hi. Uh-huh.
No, unfortunately, it's not any of those things. We need to
Can
talk
I
about
ask you
animal
just a
math.
few more questions?
Whatever, man.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
Like the ones in the voodoo rituals they do for the tourists?
Right.
I used to sell a few as souvenirs. The only one left is Willie Jr. over there. The old crocodile. Well, he's sort of a mascot now, him.
About Willie Jr., would you be willing to let him go?
Maybe. For $100.
$100? You gotta be kidding.
Me and Willie Jr. very close now. I could part with him for less.
Alright, so, now we know we need $100. And you know, honestly, $100 for a fursuit head, it's not that bad. I've seen them go for more. What we gotta do is we gotta go back to St. George's books, and now we can wait around.
I knew you'd miss me, so I came back.
Oh boy, party time.
Sobek, Lord of Seamen. I think Sobek is Lord of eating the Marvel family in, like, DC. Hey, Bruno.
Hey, kids.
Bruno, how nice.
Gee, a customer.
Of yours? Hardly.
How's the flower business?
Well, better than the used book business, I see.
Rare books.
That explains why I so rarely see anyone in here. Are you going to sell me that wonderful painting of yours today?
How much would you give me for it, Bruno?
Gabriel, don't you dare sell your father's painting.
Stay out of this, Grace.
Ooh, you're serious? You'll let me have it?
Yeah, I'll let you have it, all right. How much for the painting?
Well, I could give you 100. That's all I can let go at the moment, you know. My fares are so tied up.
Gabriel, $100 for your father's painting?
Grace, let me deal with this. Fine, it's yours.
Gabriel!
Here's the 100.
You better take good care of this, Bruno. This is not just another of your hip art pieces, you know.
Really? Well, I fully intend to make the most of its display, though not for your sake, I'm sure. At least in my shop, there'll be a chance of someone actually seeing it. I can't believe I actually got it. Just wait until I show Sid.
I don't believe you!
It's just a painting, Grace. There are things I have to do.
Oh yeah, there's so much character in that one interaction. The novel expands a bit on it. Bruno works at the flower shop down the street. Grace is just aghast because it's a family connection and she is extraordinarily big on family. Gabriel, meanwhile, well...
I'll be back later.
Good luck.
Gabriel will do whatever is necessary. For the moment. And I understand that. If there have been times when $100 would be make or break, you know?
Hi.
This is the last.
Oh, $100 bill.
I have $100. You still want to sell that crocodile mask?
That's $100, sure enough. The mask, it's yours, sir.
The mask is yours, sir.
Here you go. Careful it don't bite you now.
Yeah, thanks.
Don't you go forgetting your lagniappe. A free bottle of Master Gambling Oil.
The sign said I could get Lady Luck oil instead.
Well, I wasn't thinking a man as young as you would be needing that kind of remedying. But if you's having problems with your...
Oh, that's all right. Believe me, I don't need it. I'll just stick with this. Thanks, anyway.
Of course, it ain't none of my business if you do need it.
I don't need it.
Of course you don't.
Look, having an enormous inventory hole is the only reason to wear a coat like that in June, you know? Now then, it's time to interfere with a long-held tradition. This isn't going to turn him into an alligator? God, I wish. I mean, no. Anyway, it's time to interfere with a long-held tradition. Master Gambling Oil.
Got a second, Sam? It's about your game.
I don't have a game. That's my problem. Don't you touch those chess pieces while I'm gone, you bastard.
I ain't never needed a cheat yet, you loser.
Thought you might be interested in this gambling oil.
Let me see that. Master Gambling Oil. What's it for?
Don't you ever wonder why Marcus wins every time?
Get out of here. Marcus would never use something like this.
Well, if that's what you want to believe. This is a powerful voodoo oil.
Ah, go on. Really?
This voodoo oil could make a nun get lucky.
Really?
Is that what it's
You
for?
think it really works, huh?
Oh, shit.
I'd stake my reputation as a novelist on it.
And you say Marcus uses this. That explains a lot. Let me see that bottle. Oh, this looks authentic.
How can you tell?
It is.
If I could really beat that bastard. Stonewall, give me a Pim's cup, would you?
Coming up, Sam.
How much you think I'd put in here?
Careful. You don't want to overdo it. Too much luck can be dangerous.
Ha! There's no such thing as too much. Now stand back.
You're gonna drink. Ew.
Come on already. I'm ready to...
Don't drink the oil. You
See
rub it on
about
your
that, Mr.
hands.
Smiley Big Mouth.
You're not supposed to drink oil. You'd have the worst night in the bathroom.
Checkmate! Checkmate, you bastard!
Son of a bitch.
20 years I've been waiting to say that. Checkmate, checkmate, checkmate!
You are the biggest butthead Sam Singleton that I ever met.
Checkmate!
You can just put this chessboard where the sun don't shine.
Hallelujah, I did it! Yippee!
Nice game.
Nice game. Hell, I was brilliant! Course, I gotta give some of the credit to that oil of yours. I've been losing to that guy for 20 years. If you ever need a favor, you come to Sam, you hear?
Will do.
Sam happens to be a jeweler, as we found out talking to the bartender, so...
Could you do anything with this?
What is this? A clay mold? Well, I am a jeweler, you know. And I owe you one. Would you like me to cast this for you?
If you can.
You got it, pal. Actually, it'll be a pleasure to get my tools out. First time in years. I've been too busy playing that goddamn game. I'll have the bracelet tomorrow. Meet me here.
Great, thanks.
Alright. With that, I believe we are done with the day. Finally. Only ran like 15 minutes
It's
over.
getting late. Gabriel decides to go home for the day.
Gabriel shows up. Oh.
Excuse me. I'm going inside.
Oh, excuse me, I'm afraid St. George's is closed for the day.
I'm not a customer. I'm here to see the owner.
Why don't you just leave your name and number with me, and I'll tell him you stopped by.
Listen, if Gabriel is here, he'll want to see me. Is he here?
Really couldn't say for certain, but in the morning...
Gracie, say goodnight.
Ugh.
You came. I didn't think you would.
I didn't think I would, either.
Your eyes. Oh, I could show you around a little. It's not much, but...
Please, don't. I couldn't focus on much of anything right now.
Yeah, I know. God, what is it about you?
Just shut up and kiss me.
Yeah, you know, I'm with you, Say. I think maybe he's still dreaming. We have hit day 4! I spoke to one who smelled of death. He gave to me his ears, and crosses that were marked were made into a veil of tears. And that means that as soon as we're done with this day's preamble, I'm gonna save and quit. Newspaper? Grace? No nightmares last night.
You're not speaking to me this morning?
Don't be silly. I just have nothing to say.
Did you find out anything about that pattern I gave you?
Yeah, I did find something. I checked the microfiche at the public library. I found an article about a murder in 1810. The newspaper published a part of a pattern found around the body. It looks damn close.
You're incredible. All that work.
Forget it.
Have it your way.
That microfiche. I remember when, the librarians at my school were really hyped to teach me all about the microfiche reader. You know? Like, it would be something I would be using every couple of weeks in my daily life. I wish I lived a life where, you know, I did use a microfiche reader every couple of days of my life. Ah, well. So yeah, that was day 3 of Gabriel Night. Tomorrow, very likely, we will hit day 4. I don't see anybody I want to pawn you guys off to right now. Well, no, I don't think I want to pawn you guys off on anybody right now. So, good night. Do they even still make microfiche? God, I hope so. I don't know what do they even still make newspapers? You're the nice roundup. Thank you. Thank you guys dearly. You have all been the reason why I can keep buying new games, even though I mostly stream retro stuff. It has been extraordinarily helpful. But right now, good night, everybody. I release you all into the ether. Go find something to do. Disperse.